Yo! What up, y'all? Welcome to Replicon Radio. This is part 2 of the John Lechago interview. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel, YouTube right here, hitting that notification bell, sharing out the video and all of our past videos and interviews and live feeds and everything else. And subscribe, follow us, support us, and look forward to our other stuff. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/RepliconRadio. And check out our new sponsor right there on your screen, gravedirtclothing.com. Use the promo code Replicon. You save 10%, and we get a little bit of the cheese. So go check them out, and much love to gravedirtclothing.com for supporting us. So here it is, part 2, John Lechago, Full Moon Studios. Oh, wow, that's awesome. And you're doing, like, graphic novel work, not, you're, like, big books and stuff, right?
Well, yeah, and our first graphic novel that I had a hand in putting together, and actually it was a little bit strange how I came into it. So we came up with a new position or a new title, which when the boss is Scott Mitchell Rosenberg, who is the guy that created Malibu Comics, says, "Oh, we'll just call it this." It's like, okay, then it's okay, it's official. So what happened was. They did Platinum Studios, they did Cowboys and Aliens, and which did great for them. And then, this was after he sold Malibu to Marvel. So Platinum Studios is now his new company, and it has a whole new set of characters and stories. Some that have been acquired, but a good portion that are from Scott Mitchell Rosenberg's brain, from this thing called the Macroverse. Which is a huge comic book Bible that describes a universe. It's really an amazing thing. And so one of those stories is called Atlantis Rising, and this was published years ago as a miniseries. It's 5 books, and then it's going to go out to the studios. But it needed revamping. It needed to be put together in a graphic novel. And I looked at it, and I was actually introduced by a mutual friend. I didn't know him, and our mutual friend said, "You know what, Scott? Talk to John. John does these movies for Full Moon, micro-budget movies, and maybe he can give you an interesting look, kind of opinion." And, of course, Scott Mitchell Rosenberg, he's a guy that, can walk into any major studio, just walk in, and they'll take a meeting with him and stuff. So he was a little bit skeptical, and I don't blame him. But he, we hung out, we talked about it and stuff, and he said, "Okay, I like your take. That's not bad." And I think the reason is because I really am a fan. I love movies and stuff. So I looked at this and said, this is how I would make it more cinematic and stuff. And so from there, I just kind of like fell into, we went through the comic book again and looked at the story and said, how would it flow together as one volume? What needs to be changed with the art? Because the art was also not consistent from book to book.
Yeah,
that was a problem. And I got so involved that at one point I actually most of the pages in that comic book have had some modification by me as well, if not in some lines, in some color and everything. And it's actually, I should say, the graphic novel, because this thing is like about 90 pages now.
Oh,
wow. All five books together. So we just saw the first copy, and now we're making arrangements to see when we're actually going to release to the public. But it's beautiful. It looks great. Things are much clearer. The battles are much brighter. The weapons look meaner. The art has been cleaned up. We went back to the original writer and said, okay, how can we massage this to be more like the original concept that Scott Mitchell Rosenberg wrote in his Universal Bible way back when, to make it a little bit more coherent and stuff. And Scott O. Brown was the writer, and he did a great job of readapting it and everything and rewriting the dialogue to kind of match the original concept. So we're really proud of that. And what's going to happen is Scott Mitchell Rosenberg will start development of that for a major motion picture.
That's awesome. So I mean, you worked with them, you put it together in the graphic novel, helped with revamping the art and lines and colors and everything else, and you'll
Yes.
possibly be involved in not only making the graphic novel, but turning the graphic novel into a screenplay into a motion picture.
Yes, yes, that's exactly it. It's pretty much I went and I got the to the nitty gritty of what the original story that Scott liked, Scott Mitchell Rosenberg, and said, okay, no, this we need to go back to this, and it's a better screen story. Now I think it really kicks ass, and it's a little bit more modern as well. But also pretty much why I was given the title development in the comic book, and you'll see it in there, is because that's kind of what I did. I kind of approached it like I was developing it for a film. So I will definitely be involved with that. Not to mention, we're going to have like a 90-page compendium of the come out as well. But I just can't say when we're going to put that out. But what the compendium has is it has all the development, all the drawings from different artists and concept art from early in the days. Some of this is has been done quite a long time ago when this was first conceived, and it puts it all together, in a really interesting format, I think, because we decided to make it like a story, like a secret government documents, documenting Atlantis and the secrecy. So we had fun with that. But really, we tried to exploit every bit of concept art. And then I think I also did quite a few pages of original art for it as well, because I was thinking, well, we need more weapons and ships. And so I did a lot of 3D ships and a lot of weapons, a lot of armor. Awesome. And to kind of fill it out, because my thought is, Scott Mitchell Rosenberg and Platinum Studios develops things and they pitch things for $100 million plus budgets. It's big. So it's like, we need some things for them to spend their money on.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. So like, okay, we got the big battle scenes and this and that, but then let's really lay it out. We want to show some scope to it and stuff. So I'm very excited about that too. And then after that, we have another comic book that's being recollected into graphic novel called Unique, which is an exciting sci-fi sci-fi action story. But I can't say too much because we're really just in the middle of still redrawing a bunch of pages and everything. But that one, if you want to look it up, that one has also been published as a series as well. And we're going to come out with a new improved version of that that's then going to go into development. But we don't know when, because the artist is still working on it. So you can't really give much. It is awesome. I'm really excited about that one. It's just the potential for that one, and some of the imagery on that one. Not like Atlantis imagery can't be exciting, because it is, but Unique is sort of, I would say,
unique,
going maybe? From yes, but it should be a cyberpunk, and there's another word that I think I can coin, virtual punk.
Okay.
It should become it should become a dream like that, So a really, really strong science fiction action film.
That's awesome. And with the big book you were talking about with the Atlantis and the old sketches and the new and all that.
The compendium.
Is that like something, I don't know, like you guys release that, or do you guys do like, I don't know if you're that far in this, but like crowdfunding type Kickstarter things, or?
Fortunately, those are since those are our books, we have the weight of Platinum Studios. They funded it, and stuff. So we just got to get to it. Now the thing is that the compendium, we're calling them compendiums, is kind of a new thing. It's like nothing quite like this. And we have some things that have been done by other companies, and maybe there are a few things like it, but nothing quite like it conceptually has been done as far as we know. And when Scott Mitchell Rosenberg goes, yeah, let's do this, it's like, okay, great.
That's awesome.
You're the man. I love it. Let's do it. And then from there, I just jumped on it. Me and Scott O'Brown pretty much put that together, which is exciting work in Scott O'Brown too. If you look up his, he also known as Mano Comics and stuff, and he's done a lot of work for a lot of publishers and comic book companies. So it's great to work with him.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely have to check it out. I don't really know a whole lot of comics. Our friend Dirk Manning, he's a comic writer. We've had him on the show before, And the only thing I know his things he does is he's had a lot of success in the crowdfunding world with things like that. He had like a couple of his titles. He called it like the omnibus, and it was like the whole series put together in this huge hardcover with all
Oh,
these
nice.
extra behind the
Yes.
scenes. And it was like a special crowdfunding thing. So like the only ones that were produced were the people that were involved in the crowdfunding. So it's, you know what I mean? It was like a big. It was a huge collector's item, but it was also like a huge thing for them to put out. So that's where my head was thinking when you were talking about it. But
That is true. You can self-publish with a lot of on-demand printers, and I think that there's a misconception where that's looked down upon, and that should be erased because people are doing tremendous work, which is I think these independent book producers doing independent work, and they learn the software. They learn how to use things like InDesign and design books and make books and put them out there through these on-demand services. You will find some really creative things coming out of them. You'll find stuff that you may not find coming out of big publishers, because it's much more experimental. I think that I was lucky that with Scott Mitchell Rosenberg, even though he's considered independent, but this is the creator, one of the founding people of Malibu and stuff. He worked. He was second banana at Marvel for a while. He's independent. Yeah, he's a pretty big independent and stuff. But he still has an experimental mindset. Well, he said, okay, let's do this, let's do that, let's be a little bit different. So I'm very lucky, I think, in that way.
no, for sure, that's awesome. So with the two comics possibly turning into major motion pictures and being directing movies and your history with obviously being an artist, is it not out of line to say maybe sometime in the future we could see an original characters and story from you in a graphic novel, possibly even turned into a motion picture sometime down the line? Like,
yes,
seems like you're you're going in that direction.
That is possible. So that brings me probably to my last plug. So I met this gentleman called Ethan Murphy, and he's now out in Los Angeles. And we Platinum Studios just signed to represent his property called Slate Nash, which he has his own comic book company that he funds himself and crowdfunds and self-publishes. It's called Echelon Comics, and he one of his properties, because he's done a number of books now, it's called Slate Nash, and it's 6 books. Basically it's a buddy cop. It's like a buddy cop movie in a post-apocalyptic zombie scenario. It is genius. It's hilarious. I wish that I could direct his movie. If I had the funds, I'd direct that movie right now and stuff. And I told him that when I first read his comic book, and I took it quickly to Scott Mitchell Rosenberg, and he read to it and said, "Yeah, this is pretty good." And also as well as Kendall Rosenberg, who is a director of development, and she said, "Yeah, this is pretty good." It's like, okay, this is not it's not just the comic book geeks, but it's appealing to a lot of people here because it's different. So we became friends, and we're working on a property right now, which I cannot say, but we're excited. We just started world building and we're going to build a big world for a story. And he's writing it right now. I'm world building. I'll be doing a lot of the arts development, basically visual development, and we're going to see where that goes. So yes, with Echelon graphic novels, Ethan Murphy's outfit, and remember the name Slate Nash.
That's awesome, man. Tons of huge stuff to look forward to in the future. I'm excited to see it. I don't want to keep you too much longer. I do have a couple questions I want to run through from some of our listeners that wanted to make sure like I said, they're big fans, and I told them I'd be talking to you. I think we mentioned
questions from fans. Great.
Yeah. I think we mentioned this one earlier. That obviously, people wanted to know if there's another Killjoy. I think you had said you were working on possibly another sequel.
Well, Killjoy is tough. So at this moment, there's no plans. 'Cause I think we cannot. For me to do the Killjoy, it's got to top the last one, and the last one we took him into outer space. So it's like, well, what do I do now? So I think I would need a bigger budget and more time shooting. Otherwise, it's just, if I go backwards, I'll be very disappointed. So at the moment, no. But if there's still interest, people still keep on asking, I think then there might be a possibility of doing it in the future if we can get because we would owe the fans a better production.
Yeah.
We can't go better. Killjoy has to do something extraordinary. I think also, we're all getting a little bit older. We need new clowns. We might need the new Killjoy, or at least for Killjoy to pass the torch on off to another clown that becomes Killjoy, who, we would have to have great casting for that because, that's quite a lot to carry,
Absolutely. Well, it definitely sounds like there's at least some thoughts and ideas in your head. So if the fans wanted it, the outcry is enough, it could eventually happen.
It could eventually happen, but if I'm involved, it needs to be bigger and better.
That's awesome.
That's the thing, and also something again, a totally different story.
There you go. So these are all kind of Killjoy related, I guess. This is from our listener Dana. She says, I've never really instantly fell in love with the character more than I did in the Killjoy movies for Batty Boop, the real one and the fake one.
Yes.
Is that I know the character was made for Victoria to play. Where did the inspiration come for that character or any of the rest of the Killjoy's posse?
Oh, okay. Pretty. So that one's pretty straightforward. When I started to conceptualize Killjoy 3, and I said, "What am I going to do to make this thing different?" I immediately thought, "Well, he needs a posse. We need because Full Moon is into toys. We need other characters for other toys as well, and also people like that." So. I relied on people I've already worked with before, being Tai Chan as Freak Show, Al Burke, Mr. Outrageous, as Punchy, and then I've known Victoria DeMar for a few years, and she's very, she's very well trained. She's also a ballerina. She was a professional ballerina as well, and underground punk singer. I don't know if people really know that about her, but she's done quite a few things and stuff. So I said, well, I kind of wanted to do a really sexy female clown that's just body paint all the way down and stuff, and just really raw and crazy. And so I called her up and I said, "This is my idea. Would you do it?" She said, "Sure." And there you go, Batty Boop.
That's awesome. It's good to have friends.
So. Yeah, it's some crazy friends as well, because they're really, each one really brought the character to life, based on their own talents,
That's awesome.
And yeah, Batty Boop was fun. We had a session. We had to basically do a proof of concept. So we had a body painting session, took a lot of pictures, did some changes, some modifications, and then we were like, yep, this is it. That's pretty awesome. And although in each movie her body paint costume continues to change,
That's all right.
So. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, she definitely seems interesting. Hopefully, we'll get her on the show sometime in the future. That'd be cool. I know the people would like to hear that. Let's see. She also asked about Robin Sidney played the fake Batty. They love that
faux
character
Batty
as well.
We call it the faux Batty.
Faux Batty. I guess the question is, how did the crossover with that character into different Full Moon movies? Like, how did that come about? And is that something maybe you guys have talked about doing before with the crossover characters in different films? Well,
Charles Band does that all the time and stuff, so that was pretty much his decision. He said, Faux Batty, I think we can take Faux Batty into the Ginger Dead Man world. An Evil Bong world and stuff. And, so Robin Sidney, of course, went threw herself head and heels into that and stuff. And she is great as well. Robin Sidney, I think, could to fully do a baddie boop. She's quite a. I mean, I really, really admire her. Her not only it's not just acting ability, but the ability just to go out there and make an impression on film. She's awesome. So
maybe maybe someday we'll see a baddie boop movie or something with the Killjoy posse movie instead of a Killjoy movie or something along those lines.
Go on Facebook, find Charles Band's on Full Moon's accounts and flood them with requests. That's the best way to do it.
There you go.
So maybe, but yeah, he's got to feel the demand.
You never know. There's one more question directed at Killjoy. So when you wrote Killjoy 3, did you have Trent Haga in mind, or was it somebody else you were looking at, or?
Well, it was when we first started development of Killjoy 3, we actually tried to get a hold of Angel Vargas, and because kudos to him, I thought he did a great job in the original Killjoy, and he was fantastic. He was just all over the place. And then Trent Haga, played the second one, and my Tom Devlin of 1313 Effects, who was doing my makeup effects, knew. He said, let's just talk to Trent. I said, okay, well, I have to be fair. Let me see if I can get a hold of Angel Vargas. But I couldn't. I couldn't get a hold of him in time. So then we talked to Trent, and Trent was actually kind of on the fence about doing it at first. But, we talked to Trent, and he read the screenplay, and he said, oh, actually, this sounds pretty interesting. Not bad. And then the thing that clinched the deal, according to Trent, was he got a free trip to China out of it, which he just really wanted to go and check out. So he had 3 more days in China to check it out and everything, which was great. But after that movie, then it's pretty much sealed. Trent stole the show. Awesome. Yeah, that's how that came about, and I've become friends with Trent, which is great as well. I mean, he's an incredible screenwriter as well. That's his normal, because that's his day job.
Oh, that's awesome. And then he went on to compliment the original guy in the movie as well, so kind of like a homage to Angel as well, right?
I don't know. Was that in an interview or?
Yeah, I heard that he had complimented the original. I thought it was something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong. He had complimented the original Killjoy in a line or something.
I did that. Yeah. For the last one, I gave a shout out to Angel in a way and stuff, having Killjoy, because now he's on Earth and everything, and he mentions that they made a Killjoy movie and stuff, and I had Trent's character say that he liked Angel's character.
Okay,
the way he played him.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was my shout out, but I'm sure that Trent was all good with it, because then he also recited the lines where he kind of dissed his own performance in.
That's awesome.
Anyway, for people who haven't seen the last one, CIrcus, Trent Haga interviews himself as well. Killjoy interviewing Trent Haga. But it's a bizarro Trent Haga, because we totally make him into an asshole. And he was awesome. It was really too good.
That's awesome. That's cool. It's just cool to see the story, the things like that, the things you do. Obviously, everyone's out there having fun. You guys are making great movies, so keep it up for sure. Yeah,
most everyone has fun and stuff, so, I'm tearing my hair out, but that's okay. That's my job.
That's right. I had one more question for the fan. They're excited for Blade, the Iron Cross. I don't know if you want to give away anything about the movie or not. They just want to know if we could see some cameos from all the other puppets possibly in the Blade movie, or is it just strictly going to be Blade?
No, it's strictly going to be Blade. There's might be, and this is, insert footage that we haven't shot yet. You might see the others inside of the trunk, but only Blade is pulled out for this one. So it is a continuation of the last one with the Russian girl Elisa now basically starring as a main protagonist.
Perfect.
Well, last time she was kind of the daughter of, I forgot the character's name. Ivanov, Dr. Ivanov, and stuff. She was a clairvoyant daughter of Dr. Ivanov and stuff. But now in this story, Dr. Ivanov is back in Russia, and he made a deal where she could stay. And she is now a war journalist covering the last days of World War II, and she uncovers, yet another Nazi plot, and uses the puppets to upend their plans.
Well, good. Thank God. They need to stop
So,
plotting.
I know. So, they're going to continue plotting throughout into eternity in the fullmoon universe. But that's how it goes. That was my marching instructions. I actually wanted to put it in modern day. It's like they dust him off, they find him modern day, but Charles is like, no, it's going to be a direct continuation. It's like where because, and then immediately I'm thinking, very. Pragmatically, it's like, all right, we have to find everything that's period, like maybe not past 1950s, Right. So, no cell phones, no.
It's got to be a hard thing to do nowadays to make sure you're when you do a timepiece to make sure there's nothing. I know, especially with the internet, people go out of their way to try to find how you fucked that up. You know what I mean? Like, that guy was wearing Nikes. Nikes didn't exist, or whatever it may be.
Well, they're going to look at the typewriters that we have and say, that one was made in 1949. It's 2 years after when this story's taking place. Because even finding old typewriters was a pain in the butt. And I had some fake ones, not fake ones, but like ones from the 60s that still, that were still mechanical and stuff, and spray painted. Actually, it was just once. We spray painted it black and put it in the back and stuff to hopefully match the authentic ones, in our because we recreated a newsroom, So, but still, it's just things are going to get away from you and stuff. So.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, what can you do? We just try our best.
Just shut up and enjoy the movie, people.
Yeah, exactly. There's a magic puppet going around killing people. Shut up. So.
Oh, I know they originally slated that for a December 13th release. I assume that's probably not the case.
No. I'm still stinking sound as we speak, because it's got to be good. It's got to be good. I can't rush it. So, anyway, but working hard as I can.
No, absolutely. So I assume we'll get a big announcement when the release date and stuff like that. Probably next year sometime.
Yeah, probably next year. When I finish doing the first assemble edit, then we can kind of plan out, because I still have a lot of visual effects to do, and also a little bit more pickup shoots and insert shots and stuff, and so we can organize all that. So until we have that first assemble edit done, then it's a little bit up in the air. But to the fans out there, we're working as hard as we can, as fast as we can.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know people are definitely looking forward to it, and that's congratulations and kudos to you for being a part of another huge franchise as well with the Puppet Master.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
So I got one more question, man. We
Yes.
usually ask all of our guests the same thing. We do a lot of we have a lot of musical guests and stuff. I don't know if you're big into music, but you could mix it up if you wanted to. Essentially, if you have 3 records, if you want, you could choose movies that just either inspired you as a person or as an artist, as a director, or just that touched you in a way that's just like that music or album or movie that you just cannot live without. What 3 records and or movies would that be?
Oh, okay. Great question. So I will say movies. Pretty much that is what I live and breathe. Music is, I love all kinds of music, and but I'm not, it doesn't compare to what I love in movies. So, okay, so the 3 would be Alien. Then after that, I have to say Hunt for Red October, and then Harold and Maude.
Harold and Maude.
Believe it or not. Yep.
Was that
Yep.
was that one of the first possible movies from when you were younger? Or?
No, I actually saw that when I was already an adult, and my fiance at the time made me watch it. It's a chick flick. She made me watch it. And I was like, "Oh, this is pretty fucking awesome." So, technically, why I think it's so important is what it does so masterfully with so little is it kind of makes an emotional connection between two characters. You know, it's just wow, it's just no other movie I know has really come so close to doing it in such a weird original way. And then Alien to me was so influential because of just the scope of it. And this is before visual effects, just the artistry, scope, the thought, the consistency is to me still no one else can exceed it. I've never seen a movie, not even one of Ridley Scott's other movies that has done what Alien does in that way. When you're in the what's it called, the pilot, the Alien pilot set. That's just my jaw has dropped and I have yet to pick it up again.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so absolutely. And then Hunt for Red October, I would have to say, is on the list because it is just, to me, like the technically perfect movie. Every frame, every edit, every line, to me, and again, before the days of visual effects, it's just I think was just so masterfully done. The timing, the acting, the editing, everything. It's just I can never get tired of watching that movie. And it's also got Tim Curry in it. How can you go wrong?
That's right. Tim Curry's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's like that should be people's luck charm and everything. So,
absolutely.
Anyway,
he's always stayed in my. He was one of the first when I was a kid. Was one of the first. I didn't know his name at the time, but one of the first people that stood out to me as something magical. It was in that movie Worst Witch, which is not even that good of a movie, but it was just so stand out to me. Even as a kid, I still remember how I felt watching that movie. So.
Yeah, I have not seen that. I'll have to check that out. Definitely. Obviously, I've seen him in Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is just it's just he makes that film. Absolutely. If it wasn't for Tim Curry, it would not be the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, he sings in The Worst Witch too. That's what.
Awesome. Yeah. I bought his album way back then. It's as cheesy as it was. I had to buy his album. On cassette, audio cassette. But then we see him in other movies, and it's that really, I can see that same smile in those eyes as Darkness.
Yeah.
In Legend.
Yeah, as the devil.
Darkness.
That was
as the devil. Yeah. I believe his name was Darkness.
Yeah. He was the devil to me when I was a kid, and I was scared of him.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. And then when he pops out, he just has that ability. Now the thing is, it's funny because someone criticized he hasn't really done that many movies. No, you know what? Look him up on IMDb. He has. He's gotten out there. But he's he did a shit tons of stage and everything. So it's when you have someone like that and you realize the depth of his talent, so even a little part in Hunt for Red October, he just kind of put the bow on the whole thing.
Yeah, and then most of it, even though it's not a huge number of roles, majority of them are iconic. Darkness and Frankenfurter and It, Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
He's definitely an icon for sure. Shout out to Tim Curry.
Yes, that's our shout out for Tim. All right.
Awesome. So yeah, man, lots of stuff to look forward to. Blade coming next year. The Iron Cross. You're working with on the graphic novels, Platinum Studios, so we can look forward to Atlantis, Unique. You're busy.
Shout out to Ethan Murphy and Echelon Comics on a collaboration.
Yeah, definitely go check that stuff out. Is there I don't know if are you a big social media guy? Is there a certain place people should follow you to keep in touch with what you got going on? Or
Pretty much, I can be found on Facebook. I'm not a big social media guy. I should change that, and maybe I'll be doing that once I do kind of start pushing these other projects out. So I'll make mentions on John Lechago at Facebook. I'm pretty easy to find. You can go find my page there, my director's page there as well, and like it, and I'll post stuff on there. Also, one other thing. So you can also find an old film of mine called Pigster, which I did a few years ago, and it was very micro budget and whatever. But it's done. It's out on Amazon Prime now, so you find it's spelled exactly how it sounds, Pigster. But I hope to be doing putting more micro budget movies up on a page. And we're thinking of calling it Tom Devlin's Monster Movies, because my buddy Tom Devlin has 1313 Effects. He also has Tom Devlin's Monster Museum in Nevada, very, very close to Las Vegas. Boulder City in Nevada. So we're thinking of putting all of our small micro budget movies that have not gotten distribution through normal channels together and wrapping it up with some commentary on Amazon. So hopefully that's happening in the next 6 months. We still have to. So the first one is out, Pigster. That was our experiment, and it's doing well. You know, people who understand these movies are going there and watching it. But now we're thinking of putting them under one banner, and because we've all made a number of these smaller movies and everything, and they just need a place where we can put them out. So we're thinking of joining forces and going under the one banner and doing that. So
That's awesome.
Keep an eye out for that. So you can find me on Facebook. Also, if you go to Platinum Studios website, you'll find stuff upcoming on that. Echelon graphic novels as well, and of course, Full Moon Features.
There you go. And look forward to the Full Moon app as well. Go download that.
Yeah.
And check out all the movies. Yeah, one of our listeners was asking. I haven't seen Pixar yet, but they said they watched it and they described it. I don't want to give too much away, but they described it as a pig demon from hell that grants children wishes.
Young adults, kind of college age adults. Yeah, pretty much. That was a production that was quite a journey for me. It's not without its problems and stuff, but I'm still very proud of it. We got it done. It's got blood and gore and special effects in the monster, and it's pretty much everything you want in a micro budget horror movie.
That's awesome. You had me at Pig Demon from Hell.
Yeah, it's a Pig Demon from Hell. You know, played by the awesome John Carius and everything. It's also has Robert Davi and Clint Howard. You know, we each got him for a couple hours in one day and stuff. So it's just nuts. Awesome. And everything. But I think we found out that the true value of that is like marketing it and getting it out to the people who understand these films. Basically, these micro budget films are the punk rock of films. You know, the things that are independently done and by any means necessary. And so we're really excited about getting something together to showcase those films and explain a little bit why they're different and why they're awesome, really.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's exciting. Hopefully that comes up. And yeah, man, like, you know, if you first of all, welcome to the Replicon Radio family, man. Like, once you're here, you're stuck with us.
You.
But
awesome.
If you got stuff going on, you know what I mean. You got you get that site up, and you want people to go check it out. You got things coming out. Just let us know, and we'll do our best to get the word out about everything, and let the people know what's going on in the world of John Lechago and Full Moon and graphic novels and comics and everything else that you got going on. So awesome. I got excited. Awesome. I messed your name up, even though I said I wasn't going to mess your name up.
No, I thought you did on purpose. I was going to say, well played. Well played. That was good.
I should have. I lied. I have one more question for you, actually, because I was in my mind, I was thinking of my own thought for me. If you could adapt any book, comic, or property into a movie, what would it be?
Like I said before, it would be Slate and Ash, put out by Echelon Comics. It's that good.
That's awesome.
So we're really excited now that we have it at Platinum, and we will be taking it out for development with the major studios and everything. But if I had the funds, I would direct it. Tomorrow.
There you go. That's awesome.
I would ask Ethan make me the screenplay. Let's go do it, because it is that's different. It is basically an 80s cop buddy movie, but with zombies.
Hey, that sounds fantastic already.
it is. But it's also different. If you happen across the graphic novel, and I believe it's available through Echelon Comics. Go look up Echelon Comics or Echelon graphic novels, it's definitely worth the read. It's just because basically it's what would happen if a cop got together with a man who's basically been zombified. He's not a total zombie. He has the disease, and he's pretty mopey, which I thought was hilarious. Whereas his partner is pretty much like almost like Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China. Ooh. And the combination of both is just hilarious. It's awesome, and it's got some great imagery and action in the graphic novel. The creators did a great job of putting it together and stuff. So yeah, I would do that one tomorrow.
That's awesome. Well, I definitely can't wait to see it and see how it goes, and see what happens with Atlantis, Unique, Blade, and everything else that you have going on. You're definitely a busy man, and it's cool to see all the stuff you got going on, and all the progress you made from karate class. So
yeah, there you go. I didn't even beat anyone up. Yay!
That's awesome, man. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, which is good.
I'll say definitely keep in touch with us. Let us know. We'll get the word out, and we definitely want to hopefully be a part of the Full Moon family, and keep in touch and let everybody know what's going on in the world, man. So we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm now going to get back to syncing sound to picture on Blade, the Iron Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fun. All right. No, but it's got to get done. Perfect. Well, thank you, Paul. Hope you have a great day. Thank you, listeners, and we'll hopefully have some great stuff for you soon.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Sure. Have a great day.